Spotted Chaffins, and welcome to my YouTube channel. A few weeks ago on my Instagram, I shared a post that got more interaction, more engagement, more private messages than any that I've posted in my 2.5 years of Insta blogging. It wasn't an easy recipe that I like to share. It wasn't a hashtag use what you have tip that I'm pretty well known for. It wasn't something my girls had done or a cute photo of Sophie. It was about a flaw in me. And it opened up doors for others, for you to open up and share with me the same feelings that you had, feelings of insecurity. And I think seeing me post it was a shock to a lot of you. Those closest to me know my struggles with insecurity. I've battled it for years on end. I'm 45 and I'm still battling it. I wear makeup. I wear bright colors and big jewelry. I color my hair, and I most often have a smile on my face. But there's something down deep inside of me that has always struggled with feeling unworthy, not good enough, like something in me wasn't right. And I'm not quite sure what led to that, because I had a great childhood. I was the baby of the family. My parents for that time, becoming parents in the 70s, they were older, so they were kind of overprotective of me. And my siblings were older, so I really didn't have other kids to, play tag with or hide and seek, that kind of thing. Once in a while, I'm talking in my youngest years, like there was no preschool at the time, so like 4 through 7. So I guess I really didn't develop those athletic skills. I never could run fast, so once I got in school, I would be the last one chosen on the teams for tag or Red Rover. I did have a bit of a weight issue. I was cute, and my parents gave me the cutest clothes to wear, and mom would curl my hair. And I always had a smile on my face. I was a cute little thing. People often called me Shirley Temple with the curls that I had. But the weight issue, when other girls were 60 pounds, and at that time, school nurses would come into the school and they would weigh you in front of everybody. Like the worst thing ever. I dreaded that day every year so bad. But of course, my weight was always about, I'm guessing, probably 30 pounds more than the other girls. And so those cute clothes that I had, I think the term, we would order from the Sears catalog and the JCPenney catalog, and there was a local clothing store for children's boutique that had the cutest things, but I would have to get, I think it was called the husky sizes, or maybe plus, I'm not sure, there was a term, preteen plus maybe, or something. I never could get the normal sizes like the other girls. So that was a bother. Like I said, my clothes were cute, but there was just a difference. And again, well, I had eye issues. Since the time I was 4, I was diagnosed with a lazy eye. It is this one, my right eye. I always say my left eye is my right eye, and my right eye is my wrong eye. But there would be times I would look at people and they would ask me who I was looking at, where I was looking, when I was looking at them in the eyes. But because of my lazy eye, it looked like I was looking off. So to this day, I struggle with looking people in the eye. And I know I'm judgmental of that. If somebody can't look me in the eye, I think, okay, they're being dishonest. Something's not right here, but that's not the case with me. It's that insecurity that goes back to my childhood of being asked where I was looking. So far we've had the weight, we've had the eyes. So I had, about the eyes, not only that, but I had glasses. I got glasses and a patch over my eye that I would have to wear, not to school, but I did wear the patch at home, and when we went places, they would cover up my good eye to make my bad eye stronger. And that was just probably a year or less. But the glasses, you know how that is. You get called four eyes. And so we've got a little girl who is chunky, who can't run fast, who dresses pretty but a little different. And so with those pretty outfits, she wears shoes that, again, what little running she could do, she can't do because she's in dress shoes. She has glasses, and when she's not wearing her glasses, her eye kind of roams. So we don't know where she's looking. I think all of that at an early age, despite my mom and dad and the rest of my family, especially my sister, I was her baby doll. No doubt about it. But I think despite all of that, some of the cruel comments started planting that seed in me that I was different. And in some ways, I wasn't good enough. So later, now we're probably about 6th grade, and the weight issue continued. I wasn't obese, but I was just bigger than the other girls my age. And we didn't have many boys in our class. 1976 was a year of girls being born. We always outnumbered the boys, like, I don't know, 4-1 probably, or more. And I liked all the boys, and I still do to this day. And I don't think they realized how they were hurting me. But they would play this game where they would somehow knock us down. Now, I know that sounds traumatic, but we didn't get hurt. There was no physical injuries. They would knock us down, and when I would get knocked down, one boy specifically would say 8.7 on the Richter scale. And I would be mortified. None of the other girls got that comment, just me. And to this day, I can hear it vividly. And every time I see that person, although I speak to them, I think about it. Let's back up. There was a time, probably 4th, 5th grade, there was a group of us girls, I think 5 of us, who were a clique. That's the only thing to call it, a clique. And we had a ringleader, and then the rest of us just kind of followed along with her. Well, each day, or about every other day, at least once a week, she would decide who out of that group we were going to be mad at. And it would just happen. You would just get to school and they wouldn't sit with you. And, you know, I was included. So if she said that we were supposed to be mad at Nellie, well, then I wouldn't sit with Nellie. I wouldn't talk to Nellie. I wouldn't pass notes to Nellie. So I'm saying I was involved too. But when it was my turn, I would get to school and it was the worst feeling ever. And going to school that week knowing that they were mad at you, you weren't going to have anybody at recess, you weren't going to have anybody to sit with at lunch. Oh, it just gnawed at the pit of your stomach. And to this day, I can still hear a certain song on the radio or I can hear the sound of a certain show. I think it's like if a Disney movie's coming on or something, I know it when I hear it. But a certain Sunday night show, when I hear that opening music come on, I get that hole in the pit of my stomach all over again. And I remember that horrible feeling of wondering if I was gonna have a friend that day. And I remember having my mom bake gingerbread or stop and get bags of bubble gum, hoping that I could buy my friendship that day. So, fast forward, I know I'm all over the place. This is a very emotional talk for me. I'm in the kitchen because I knew this would be a hard talk, and if I'm talking with my girls about something or talking with friends, most often it's in my kitchen. So I brought you into my kitchen thinking we could just talk, and this would be like if you were sitting at my coffee table, my dining table, and we were having coffee discussing this. I think in an effort to help me because of my weight and because I dressed a little different, I'm not sure. Maybe because I always wanted to be like my mom, and especially my sister. She was older than me, probably, I think 14 years, but I always wanted to be like her. I would wear high heels when I was 3 years old. I mean, the stories she tells me, you know, if she got the big purse and I got the little purse, no. So anyways, maybe in an effort to be more like her. But anyways, I started going to the beauty shop twice a week. And at this time I was probably in 7th grade. And I already acted older, I talked older because I was the baby of the family and my siblings were so much older. I was surrounded by adults most of the time. So that sense of maturity, talking above my age, going to the beauty shop to have my hair done twice a week, started wearing makeup early, and my clothes being pretty again, but not quite what the other girls were wearing, it just kind of put me out of place. So when the other girls were getting boyfriends, I didn't. In fact, I'm 45, and I can't say that I've had a lot of boyfriends. I can't say that I've had a lot of dates. When I married, I was almost 19. I was 3 days away from 19. A baby, I know. But he was probably only like maybe the 5th person that I had been on a car date with, if that. So I always wondered, you know, why my mom and my sister was telling me how pretty I was, and everybody would talk about, you know, my pretty clothes, how nice I was, how smart I was, but I couldn't get a boyfriend, and everybody else did. But then I got a boyfriend, and we married young. And we were married for 10 years. And I have 2 beautiful, they're beautiful, but I should say their heart is most beautiful, and that's what I should speak of most. Internally beautiful, emotionally beautiful girls that I'm so thankful for. I won't go into specifics, but just throughout my adult life, there have been things that have added to that insecurity. Things that little seed that was planted when I was young, things that have fed that and let it fester and grow until it was just an internal, an emotional malignancy. And no matter what someone said, no matter what size I was, because I lost weight. Probably when I lost my weight, I was a sophomore in high school. And still, I think I got down to a size 4 or 6. And still at that point, I thought I was big. I didn't want to be seen in a swimsuit. Shorts that were too short, I would think, oh, my legs are, jiggling. No. And I look back at pictures now as a 45-year-old with a whole lot more wisdom. And I think, girl, what were you thinking? I see a beautiful young lady who was made beautifully, who projected herself beautifully, who had the whole world in her hand in a lot of ways. But because of that seed planted earlier, she just couldn't recognize it. What I wanted to share with you was mostly experiences from my youth. I didn't really want to dive into anything from my adult years other than I'll just focus on my youth. I do feel that I have grown leaps and bounds. I do believe that I am a strong woman, but I am still insecure. And sometimes when I think of the people or the things or the events that I have allowed to eat into my self-esteem, I just want to shake myself. But you see, that's what it is. Insecurity is a poison. And so you can't, if you're on the outside of it, if you're the person who doesn't have the low self-esteem and you're just wanting to tell somebody, but you're pretty, but you're smart, but you're successful, but you're, whatever it is, you just can't. You can continue telling them those things, and that's nice, and you do appreciate it. But it's just like hitting the surface. You can't get down in there. It's just a self-discovery that person has to make themselves. I have, at 45 years of age, realized that I am special, just as you are, just as each of you are. There's only one of you in this world. I say that and I say, well, too bad there's only one Murata. And a lot of people say, thank God. but I have a lot of good traits. So do you. Each of you. I have flaws. And so do you. Each of you. But it's not for you, no matter if you're 5, 10, 15, or 50. It is not your place to point out my flaws. And it is not my place to point out your flaws. And I hope that when you watch this, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandparent, a sibling, a teacher, I hope that this resonates with you and that we can teach this generation and generations to come just how lethal words can be. I've suffered a lot. I've cried. I've had hurt feelings. self-doubt. I've had bouts of depression. And it can all be traced back to rude actions, hurtful words, like knocking someone down and saying 8.7 on the Richter scale. I hope that you have stuck with me through this video. I'm sorry for the times that I've choked up, for the long pauses. I've tried to stay strong, not cry, because this is painful. But when I decided to do my social media, I decided I was going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I'm not the only one. And by the volume of private messages that I received when I shared my post about my battle with insecurity, I knew I was far from the only one. So don't let makeup, bright clothes, big jewelry, big smiles, don't let that fool you. We all struggle with something. We all are flawed human beings. I hope this has helped you, whether you struggle with it or whether you don't. I hope it's opened your eyes. I hope maybe it's opened your heart, your mind, your voice. Maybe I've encouraged you to speak out. It's, I guess, a bit taboo, but it's real, and somebody needs to speak up. And like I said, being someone that many would never, and that's what they said, they would never expect me because of the way that I present myself. They would never think that I have low self-esteem. But I do. Lots of us do. Maybe it's you. Feel free to private message me on my Instagram, Marauda Chaffins. Thank you for watching. Share this video if you know of someone who could learn something from it, or it could help them in some way. Again, I thank you. Our next video, we'll pick it up. We'll be laughing, maybe we'll cook again, but I just had this on my heart and wanted to share with you. Thanks for tuning in. Chat later.